Today, 2 local Marshall's discount clothing stores closed the doors for the last time.
Shopping at Marshall's feels like entering a chaotic wonderland where the rules of logic no longer apply. 1 minute you're standing by the entrance, promising yourself you'll only grab socks. 20 minutes later, you're knee-deep in a cart full of discounted throw pillows, mystery brand handbags, and a Himalayan salt lamp you didn't know you needed, but now apparently do. It's not just a store, it's an experience. The flickering fluorescent lights, the avalanche of clearance tags, the thrill of sifting through endless racks like you're on a budget episode of Antiques Roadshow. You leave the place convinced you just hacked the retail system. That feeling of victory? That's not accidental, that's by design. Because the truth is, Marshall's isn't just selling clothes, it's selling the illusion of a steal. Those bold red stickers that scream "compare at $60" and cross out the original price to reveal a tempting $19.99? They're more smoke and mirrors than savings. Retail analysts have pointed out that these compare at prices are often fabricated or wildly inflated. There's no regulation forcing them to prove those items were ever sold for that amount anywhere else. It's like walking into a magic show and convincing yourself the rabbit volunteered. That $200 Calvin Klein dress you think you just scored for $40? There's a strong chance it was never $200. It might not even be from a real Calvin Klein line. Many items at Marshall's are manufactured specifically for off-price retailers, using cheaper materials and cut corners, but dressed up with designer-sounding tags to fool your brain and your budget. And don't be fooled by the mess. That disorganized store layout? It's not poor planning, it's a strategy. The treasure hunt atmosphere is meant to keep you browsing longer, increasing the odds that you'll buy something impulsively. The longer you stay, the more your brain shifts from just socks to, how did I spend $87 on stuff I didn't come in for? You didn't find a deal, the deal found you, and it's laughing all the way to the register. Okay, if overpriced polyester wasn't enough to get your attention, let's talk about something a bit more serious. Marshall's got fined $13 million for selling recalled products. You heard that right? $13 million. Not for bad vibes, not for ugly cardigans, for selling dangerous, recalled items to real people. Between 2014 and 2019, Marshall's, along with TJ Maxx and HomeGoods, all owned by the TJX companies, sold over 1,200 units of products that had been officially recalled due to safety concerns. These weren't small-time issues either. Some of the products included infant sleepers linked to suffocation risks, defective electronics, and even flammable items. You know, the kind of stuff you really don't want to mark down on. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, stepped in and dropped the $13 million penalty in 2022. That's not just pocket change, it's one of the largest fines ever handed out for this kind of violation. And here's the wild part. This didn't happen once. It wasn't a single oopsie. The report stated that TJX sold these recalled items across multiple years in multiple stores to countless unsuspecting customers. Imagine going home with a baby sleeper thinking you scored a deal, only to find out later it was pulled from shelves everywhere else for being lethal. That's not a bargain. That's corporate negligence wrapped in a red clearance tag. TJX responded with the usual corporate word salad. We remain committed to the safety of our customers and take this matter seriously. Translation? We got caught and wrote a check. But how did this even happen? According to internal investigations, it was due to a failure in inventory oversight systems. Meaning, they didn't have a clear method to pull recalled items from shelves, so stuff just sat there, looking innocent, waiting for someone to toss it into their cart between shampoo and slippers. That's the real cost of those chaotic aisles. It's not just impulse buying, it's potentially life-threatening. So the next time you're holding a product at Marshall's, you might want to ask yourself, is this a hidden gem or a legal liability in a discount disguise? By now, it's clear that Marshall's isn't just a place to find a bargain. It's a place where the price tag might be the most honest part of the product. But let's take it one step deeper. Because even if your $12 blouse doesn't catch fire or fall apart after 2 washes, there's another cost you probably didn't see at checkout: the environmental toll. We've all been told that Marshall's sells overstock or leftover inventory from big-name brands. And while that does happen, here's the retail plot twist. A massive portion of the items on those racks are manufactured specifically for Marshall's and similar stores. They're not cast-offs, they're purpose-built products, made fast, made cheap, and made to look like a deal. Think about that for a second. If items are being made just for a discount store, were they ever really worth more in the first place? Spoiler, nope. They're designed to imitate designer, but with materials that make cardboard feel luxurious. It's fashion cosplay, but for your closet. And here's where the environmental impact really kicks in. When clothing is made quickly and cheaply, it's not built to last. We wear it once, maybe twice, then it rips, pills, or stretches into some unrecognizable form. So we toss it and buy more. It's a loop of disposable fashion, and stores like Marshall's are quietly fueling the cycle. According to the EPA, the US generates over 17 million tons of textile waste every year, and fast fashion is a massive contributor. Much of it ends up in landfills or incinerators. You think you saved money with that $9 top, but the planet picked up the rest of the bill. And don't let the price tags fool you. There's a reason that off-brand jacket smells like mystery glue and regret. Many of these clothes are manufactured in regions with little to no environmental regulation, where wastewater from dye factories gets dumped into rivers, and factory emissions choke the skies. So yeah, Marshalls might save you a few bucks, but behind every deal is a supply chain soaked in pollution, overproduction, and waste. Also, you can impulse buy a polyester blazer that wrinkles before you even wear it. Let's talk labels. Ever flipped over a tag at Marshalls and thought, what brand is this? You're not alone. That's because many of the names you'll find there are either private labels, brands owned by the retailer, or completely unknowns, produced by third-party manufacturers specifically for off-price shelves. These mystery brands sound fancy adjacent. Cynthia Rowley, Laundry by Shelley Siegel, Modern Culture. They're not fake, but they're not exactly mainstream either. Some of these names barely exist outside of discount aisles. And the ones you do recognize? They may be licensing agreements or lower-tier product lines that never saw the inside of a flagship store. Translation: what you're buying isn't the designer's work, it's their name on a mass-produced compromise. But let's go deeper. How are these items actually made? That's where things get murky. Because these products are made fast and cheap, they're often produced in overseas factories with minimal transparency, limited oversight, and questionable labor conditions. The goal isn't quality, it's volume. Shipments need to be ready to hit the shelves every week with new arrivals, even if that means cutting corners in the supply chain. And when corners get cut, it's not just stitches and fabric that suffer. Workers do too. Low wages, long hours, and dangerous conditions are all too common in parts of the global garment industry, especially when brands and retailers demand low-cost, high-speed production. What's worse, there's virtually no way to trace these garments back to their source. The private labels often work with multiple vendors, shifting factories on a whim. One week it's Bangladesh, next week Vietnam, then maybe Pakistan or Cambodia. And no one, not even Marshalls, is watching closely enough to guarantee ethical practices. It's the fashion equivalent of plausible deniability. Marshalls doesn't ask, the suppliers don't tell, and the shoppers? Well, most of us don't think to check. So while that $8 sweater looks soft and innocent on the outside, there's a whole world of exploitation stitched into its seams. And unlike the loose threads, that part doesn't come undone after one wash. If buying something at Marshalls is a gamble, trying to return something is a full-blown slot machine in a windstorm. One where the rules change mid-spin and the house definitely always wins. The first thing you'll notice when attempting to return that broken gadget or ill-fitting shirt is the fine print. The one you didn't see because it was hidden under 3 clearance stickers and a layer of impulse regret. Suddenly, that final sale label you barely glanced at becomes law. The cashier looks at you with the sympathetic yet unmoving expression of someone who's about to say, "Sorry, store credit only." Even if your receipt is pristine and you're well within the 30-day window, there's still a decent chance you'll walk away with a store credit you didn't want. Good only for more questionable merchandise you're not sure you trust anymore. Customers have reported wildly inconsistent experiences. One store lets you return items without the tag. Another won't even glance at you unless the barcode is still attached like an ankle monitor. And let's not even get started on trying to return something purchased online. It's like arguing with a magic mirror. Every answer is vague, confusing, and somehow always reflects poorly on you. What's really going on here? It's simple. Marshalls doesn't want returns. Returns eat into profit, require manual processing, and worst of all, they break the illusion. If people return too often, the magic of the bargain hunt fades. So they quietly build in just enough inconvenience and confusion to make you think twice. So congratulations, you didn't just buy a bad deal, you married it. For better or worse, in sickness and in shredded seams. Now, if you've been wondering, well, maybe I'll just shop at TJ Maxx instead. Allow us to burst that bubble for you too. Because Marshalls and TJ Maxx aren't rivals. They're siblings in the same corporate family, under the umbrella of the TJX companies, a $100 billion juggernaut built on markdowns, misdirection, and made-for-retail merchandise. Yes, they look different on the outside. TJ Maxx has a bit more of a beauty and home decor vibe, while Marshalls leans heavier into men's apparel and shoes. But scratch the surface and you'll find they're practically clones. Both stores share the same suppliers, the same chaotic rack layouts, the same mysterious private label brands, even the same compare at price tricks that make $19.99 sound like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's not two stores with different strategies. It's one strategy with two logos. You walk into TJ Maxx thinking it's a step up, but it's just Marshalls in different lighting. And the best part? You're the target in both. It's a brilliant corporate move. Keep customers bouncing between two stores, believing they have options when really, they're just switching seats on the same discount carousel. Look, we get it. Marshalls feels like a harmless indulgence. A little retail therapy that doesn't wreck your credit score. But underneath the chaos and clearance signs is a machine. A system built on psychological manipulation, environmental shortcuts, questionable labor, and even legal red flags. Sure, sometimes you walk out feeling like a bargain genius. But more often than not, you're paying for fast fashion in slow, invisible ways. Through quality that doesn't last, through waste that stacks up, through products that weren't made for you, they were made to move. And that's the point. At Marshalls, you're not really the shopper. You're the product, your time, your attention, your emotional high from scoring a deal. All harvested and monetized, one flimsy cardigan at a time. So the next time you walk through those double doors and hear the siren song of markdown mania, just remember, the price may be low, but the cost, that's a whole different story.